and Senator Wong.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted. Senator Cash.
Thank you very much. And with all due respect, I did not want to make a statement in this place, President. I actually thought Senator Malandiri McCarthy, Senator Pauline Hanson and Senator Jacinta Price each expressed their opinion in relation to this matter well. Their tone respected the chamber. Their words did not seek to diminish anybody else. Their opinions were heartfelt and they were their opinions. Each person is allowed to come into this chamber and hold an opinion. The turning of the back, I've spoken to Pauline Hanson about that. She knows my opinion. She accepts what I have said in relation to that. But let me tell you, Senator Hanson has every right to hold her opinion in relation to what happens at the beginning of this chamber. And she is right. She is right. When I first came to this place, it was prayers. It was not a welcome to country. But I can tell you, do not ever demean anybody. Senator Jacinta Price. Her mother's story, best Price. I suggest you all read it. A woman walking through the desert was her mother, who had her baby between her legs under a tree. She picked up that baby, she cut the umbilical cord and she kept walking. I suggest you read the story of Bess Price before you ever come in here and cast aspersions or tell us, Senator Wong, to respect other words. I will stand by and respect Senator Jacinta Price, who every day has lived and breathed reconciliation in this country. Her father is white, her mother is black. So please, don't ever come into this place again and pontificate to us like you've just done.
Leave is granted, Senator.
Thank you. What concerns me as an Indigenous Australian, as a member of this parliament, what the issues that come from what we're talking about right now is the ideological way in which Indigenous Australians are objectified, and I mean in such a way that we are used as a political token for political point scoring. The idea of welcome to country has become exactly that. Senator Hanson is correct to say that welcome to country is not traditional culture. It isn't. And what we do need to recognise, and it's important for all of us as leaders of this nation to recognise, is the reinvention of culture which diminishes traditional culture. It diminishes it. And for those who still live close to traditional culture, within cultural confines, their day-to-day lives are dictated by it. They speak their language. They're often spoken about in very romanticised terms, and the use of acknowledgements really does absolutely nothing to improve their lives, has done nothing to improve their lives. And to be quite honest, as a woman of Indigenous heritage, but first and foremost as an Australian, I am absolutely done with the virtue signalling that takes place. I am of the belief that it is not necessary to have an acknowledgement because we are all Australians. Every single one of us, including the Ngunnawal and the Ngambri, are Australians, and we are here to serve all Australians equally in this country, not praising or acknowledging one group above others. I'm certain, I mean, truly, I don't think you're really wanting to acknowledge my existence because of my indigeneity here more than anybody else's. I'm equal to you and everybody else here and everybody in this country. So this is the main issue at heart. It's not standing up as a person of Indigenous heritage to say how we do things differently. We are people. We are human beings. We need to stop the infantilisation of who we are as a group of people as though we're somehow different. We are not different. We are the same. We are Australian. And that is the sentiment that we need more of in this chamber, in this building, and more broadly across this country. because it's no wonder why our children are afraid to be proud to call themselves Australian. So while I understand the significance, the conduct of one nation, perhaps toward the chamber, toward the president, I acknowledge that. But more broadly, when it comes to this concept of acknowledgement of country and acknowledgement, First Nations isn't even an Australian terminology, for crying out loud. It's been adopted from Canada, from America. It's just reinvention that is actually belittling and watering down traditional culture and what it's really about. But we can ignore traditional culture in this chamber because there are elements of it every single one of you across from here ignore, because it's detrimental to the most marginalised and remote communities. But if you speak up against it, if you mention it, you are painted as a racist or somebody who is a coconut or somebody who is a traitor. Imagine if we treated every single racial group in this manner in this country. It's horrendous. And it begins with the virtue signalling, the politicisation of a group of people in this country because of our racial heritage. And I'm sick to death of it. As a woman, as a mother, as soon to be a grandmother, and as an Australian of proud heritage, whether it's my convict ancestors or it's my Warrpy ancestors. I'm proud of it all, and we should all be. We should all encourage that in Australia in 2025.
Thank you, Senator Price. Senator Wong.
Senator Maladiri and the other members of the caucus, First Nations caucus, as you call yourselves, I do understand and respect, and you're asking for that respect, and, you know, as Australians. All we do, or One Nation does, and the rest of Australian people, is we're wanting the same respect back. The respect back that we are still part of this nation, that we are people that have born here, people that have migrated here, that we also want acknowledgement and respect to the nation. To constantly be told this is not your land, Aboriginal land always was, always will be. You are disenfranchising me and many other Australians. The welcome to country was not culture or tradition. It was actually introduced into Australia by Ernie Dingo in the 70s in relation to New Zealand having the haka. Welcome to country has not been a tradition of this parliament and has only just been introduced in the last few years. This has not been a stunt that I pulled just this week. I have turned my back on it for the past 3 years. I am acknowledging the Australian people who voted against the voice. They don't want this division that's happening in our country. They are fed up with welcome to country. They want to see an end to it. To arrive on a plane in every state across this nation, or to get a welcome to country, people don't want that. They don't want this division. We have seen land handed back, and we've seen Australians stopped from going to certain places in this country because they're not welcomed there. This is their land. They can't go to Mount Warning, the Grampian Mountains. They can't go to certain parts. They can't do the things that every Australian should be entitled to. We are treated totally different in many areas. I understand the demise of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I've visited their communities. I've spoken to them. You haven't got the support of welcome to country from every Aboriginal. A lot of them out there have contacted me and said, we are over it as well. We don't want this division in our nation. So it's a stance that I've taken to speak up on behalf of those Australian people that don't want this division. I don't want to have to do this. But the whole fact is that I am actually speaking up on behalf because people don't know how else to protest over this. It's dividing us as a nation, as a people. Everything that I've said right from the very beginning I ever came into Parliament in 1996, my first statement was equality for all Australians. But we're being treated totally different. It doesn't matter whether it's education, whether it's jobs, whether it's welfare, whether it's whatever it is. There is no definition to Aboriginality, and a lot of people claiming to be Aboriginal of this nation, they're not, because they can say it. That needs to change. As I said before, I'll say it again. When you recognise and respect us and say that we accept you as our equals in this nation, that we are all Australians together, I never hear it. And where is the protest that I hear of when the Aboriginal flag, not the Aboriginal flag, when the Australian flag is burnt in protest? Why should that be allowed?
Order.
That is not right. I've seen protests from Aboriginal people. I've seen the racism that's been thrown at me because I dare raise issues and I call for equality, so I'm supposed to be the racist of in this nation because I question things. That's not racism. Racism means that you believe your race to be superior to another. I have never, ever indicated that at all. I question, and all I have ever questioned is equality for all Australians. Yeah. And I will stand by that. And I've been the one who's actually gone up to these communities, come back to see the Minister for the Aboriginal Affairs, and I've advocated for jobs at Uluru, Ayers Rock, for those people there. I've advocated for housing up at North Queensland, Bamaker. I've advocated for a lot of issues to do with Aboriginal people and the corruption that's going on in these communities, land councils, everything like that. I've advocated for these people. A lot of Aboriginals come to me.
Senator Hanson, the time for your contribution has expired.
Just make a short statement.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted.
I thank the Senate. President, Senator Hanson speaks of division, but it is she who peddles in division. Senator Hanson speaks of respect, but it is she who peddles disrespect. And Senator Hanson, I listened carefully to what you had to say, and I would say this to you. You do not have to agree with the tradition of acknowledging country. I disagree with you. I think the majority of the chamber disagrees with you. But you do not have to agree with it. But it is part of the rituals and traditions of this chamber, and as a senator, I think you should respect it. I think you should respect it. I think you should respect it. Now, I also listened to the contribution just gone, and I have to say I was heartened to see the Leader of the Opposition, Ms Lee, attend the Welcome to Country at the opening of the Parliament and stated at that opening her respect and appreciation of Anti-Violence Welcome. And she said this: "May it set the tone as we recommit ourselves to the taking of practical action to improve lives and expand opportunity for Indigenous Australians in every part of our great country." Now, I would hope that it would be that the opposition would reflect on the words of their own leader in relation to welcomes to country. It's been a lot said about what this chamber is, what this House is. It is a house for all Australians. It is. And it is a house that represents our history, our multicultural diversity, as well as a history of
Everyone's trying something just to get through the day. But if your legs feel heavy, swollen or tight, that's not just fatigue. It could be early-stage edema, and most people don't even realize it until it gets worse.
Meet Akusoli, a breakthrough in foot comfort technology that fits any type of shoe and protects you from foot-related issues like plantar fasciitis and edema in 9 unique ways. 1. The acupressure cushions on Akusoli insoles stimulate nerve endings and encourage better circulation, enhancing balance and reducing foot swelling. 2. Akusoli.
Thank you, President. I speak today as a young Yalgara
and with all due respect,
we are known as the anthem which comes from the
I actually thought Senator Malindiri McCarthy, Senator Pauline Hanson and Senator Jacinta Price each expressed their opinion in relation to this matter well. Their tone respected the chamber. Their words did not seek to diminish anybody else. Their opinions were heartfelt and they were their opinions. Each person is allowed to come into this chamber and hold an opinion. The turning of the back, I've spoken to Pauline Hanson about that. She knows my opinion. She accepts what I have said in relation to that. But let me tell you, Senator Hanson has every right to hold her opinion in relation to what happened at the beginning of this chamber. And she is right. She is right. When I first came to this place, it was prayers. It was not a welcome to country.